It was late afternoon when we got the call. I volunteer with a small local rescue group, and most of our work involves injured livestock or animals stuck in wells or fences. The voice on the phone was tense but not dramatic. A farmer from a nearby village said one of his cows was trapped near a water canal, and there was a large snake nearby. He wasn't exaggerating, but he didn't sound calm either. We loaded basic equipment into the pickup ropes, a stretcher, gloves, and started out. The road to the village was rough, and it took us about 40 minutes to get there. By the time we arrived, a small group of people had gathered at a distance. They weren't shouting or panicking, but no one was going near the area. The farmer met us halfway. He pointed toward a shallow ditch near the canal embankment. "The cow slipped," he said, "and the snake came out from the grass." He kept repeating that the snake was still there. We approached slowly. From a distance, I could see the cow lying on its side, its legs partly trapped in the uneven ground. It wasn't moving much, just lifting its head occasionally. About a few meters away, near the tall grass, I saw movement. The snake was there, coiled and alert. It was larger than most we usually encounter in this area. It wasn't actively striking, but it hadn't moved away either. We stopped at a safe distance and assessed the situation. None of us were snake handlers, but we had basic training on how to avoid provoking wildlife. The priority was not to make sudden movements. The cow was likely exhausted and possibly injured from the fall. The snake seemed defensive rather than aggressive, holding its position as if guarding its space. That made things complicated. One of the villagers suggested killing the snake, but we discouraged that immediately. It would only increase the risk. Instead, we decided to create distance between the cow and the snake. We used long sticks to gently disturb the grass from a safe angle, making noise rather than approaching directly. The goal was to encourage the snake to move away without feeling threatened. It took time. The snake raised its head slightly, reacting to the movement and sound. We stayed steady, not getting closer than necessary. Eventually, after several minutes, it began to shift. It didn't rush or strike. It slowly moved deeper into the grass, away from the ditch. We waited longer to make sure it didn't circle back. Only when we were certain it had moved off did we approach the cow. Up close, the cow looked weak. Its breathing was shallow, and one of its legs was stuck between compacted soil and a broken edge of the canal lining. There were no visible bite marks, which was a relief. It seemed the main issue was the fall and being unable to move. The longer it stayed like that, the worse its condition would become. We spoke softly as we worked. Animals pick up on tension, and we didn't want to add to its stress. Two of us cleared loose soil around the trapped leg, while another held the cow's head gently to keep it from panicking. It didn't struggle much, which worried me more than if it had. It was simply too tired. After loosening the soil, we tried to free the leg. It didn't come out easily. The ground had hardened around it, and there was a risk of causing injury if we pulled too hard. We paused and adjusted our approach, digging more carefully around the leg to create space. It was slow work, but rushing would only make things worse. Finally, the leg came free. The cow tried to move, but it couldn't stand. Its legs trembled and gave way. We decided to use the stretcher we had brought. It wasn't ideal for an animal of that size, but it would help us shift its position onto firmer ground. With 4 of us lifting carefully, we managed to move it out of the ditch. Once on level ground, we gave it some water. It drank slowly, then rested its head down. The farmer stayed close, speaking to it quietly. He seemed relieved but still worried. We checked again for any signs of a snake bite. Swelling, unusual marks, but found none. That suggested the snake had not actually attacked, only stayed nearby. We encouraged the cow to try standing again. This time, with some support, it managed to get its front legs under its body. It took a few attempts, but eventually it stood, though unsteady. We stayed close in case it collapsed again. It stood there for a while, breathing heavily, adjusting its balance. The farmer brought some fodder, and the cow showed a little interest, which was a good sign. Animals that begin eating usually recover better. We advised him to keep it under observation and to call a veterinarian if any symptoms developed later. The leg might have been strained, but it didn't appear broken. Before leaving, we checked the area again. The grass where the snake had been was quiet. We reminded the villagers to be cautious in that area, especially during warmer days when snakes are more active. It wasn't about fear, just awareness. The situation had been risky, but it didn't need to turn into something worse. On the way back, the mood in the truck was quiet. No one said much, but we all knew it had gone as well as it could. The cow was alive, the snake had moved on, and no one had been hurt. It wasn't a dramatic rescue, just careful decisions made one step at a time. Sometimes that's all it takes, staying calm, respecting the situation, and doing what you can without making it worse.